Our next speaker here is one of the leading ladies of tech in Northern Virginia. She's also a good friend of mine. She is the chief redhead of Red Thinking, which does brand strategy and design. Her name is Jen Sterling, and her session is called Charity Begins in the Playroom.
This is Rachel. She's a first grader. She likes to read, play video games. She has 2 guinea pigs, Lucky and Freckles. She's your average middle-class child, but when she was 6, she became a philanthropist. I picked her up one day from school, and she told me about a project while we were driving home. When she was in school, she wrote down her dreams, and her dream was to be a big boss and have a company like Mom did. I'm an entrepreneur. My husband's an entrepreneur. I was very excited to hear this from her. So on her school paper, she said she wanted to have a company that gave kids toys who didn't have any. She told me that she wanted to fill buckets. I'd never heard this before. Apparently, she had read a book in school about filling buckets. Everybody carries an invisible bucket, and you put good things in other people's buckets by being nice to them, and you take out of other people's buckets by being mean to them. I thought this was kind of a cool concept. So anyway, as I said earlier, being an entrepreneur, I was thrilled that she wanted to be able to do something like this, knowing that she could grow up and build her own future and not have to get the job. And being a mom, I was excited she wanted to help other people. So I asked her, what would you call your company? She said, I need an acronym. She had asked me earlier what BMW spelled, and I had to explain what acronyms and abbreviations were. She told me LHP. Let's help people. Well, I thought this was pretty cool, so I had on my bucket list I wanted to have a foundation for kids. Why not do it now? So we started looking up URLs. LHP was not available, but Let's Help Kids was. And I asked Rachel, can we focus on the kids? And she said, absolutely. So we grabbed the URL. We downloaded the form from the IRS for the 501c3. It's hell, but it can be done. A lawyer filed the corporation for us, and by December, Let's Help Kids was born. Before we had heard anything and done any marketing at all, we got a call from a caseworker. She had a boy whose mom was a single mother in their transitional housing program, works 2 jobs, and her son loves music, but she couldn't afford the instrument. We pulled it off, and it's the only student that we've met out of all of our gifts given, and Rachel will never forget it. It's the anticipation when you're a kid of that birthday present, of the Halloween costume, of getting your first bike. These are things that are necessities to children. It's the simple things in life. Rachel now speaks to everybody. She carries her business cards everywhere. She spoke to 250 fifth grade students who heard from 9 different nonprofits. Each one brought $1 that day. Rachel walked away with $227. The story was catchy. We had an article in the newspaper. Word was spreading like wildfire, and we were getting checks from grandmothers and strangers who didn't even know us, but who thought what we were doing was a great thing. We set up a program with the local shelter. They notify us on the 1st of every month about the kids who are having birthdays, and each one gets a gift bought for them with their name specific to their interests. We drop them off with the caseworker so that they don't feel awkward receiving a gift from a stranger. We put together a board, some family, some friends, most with nonprofit experience. We set up processes for what kinds of donations we could take and how to handle requests for help. We also had our first dual gala in January. It was awesome. Parents in one room, kids in another. Everybody had a DJ. Everybody had an ice cream sundae bar. We all felt like kids. It was a lot of fun that night. Another program we set up is summer camp for kids who are financially disadvantaged and at risk. We work with Fairfax County Park Authority, and we're able to send a kid to 6 weeks of camp for $300. It's the best donation you've ever made. It's just all smiles. All overhead is covered by donations from the board. Unlike many other nonprofits that eat up 10, 20, 40 cents of every dollar you give, 100% of the donations to us go to the kids because the board covers all of the overhead. We've benefited so far more than 100 kids in the last 18 months. We also want to develop opportunities for kids to volunteer, providing them the opportunity to learn how to give back and how to be philanthropists themselves. The life lesson here for me was inspire your kids to dream. I couldn't have taught this to Rachel. She had to see it in us and in others, and she had to dream big and learn that she could do anything. There is absolutely no reason to wait. Anybody can make a difference, even a 6-year-old child. Pay it forward. Thank you.